Hello everyone, this is Drew Staples and welcome to your next lesson on coding in Python. Here we're going to be learning about variables with different data types plus comments. So just to go over this, I am coding in Google Colab, so if you haven't already, go ahead and go to Google Colab and open up a new notebook. Or if you want to, if you are following along with this video, you can kind of make like a cheat sheet and just, kind of code along with me and just save it over time and just go back into it whenever you want to watch the series or, even another series. Just kind of keep it as a reference page. So in any coding language, you essentially deal with different data types. And there are many different data types, but the main ones you're going to be working with are these four. So you have strings, booleans, integers, and you have floating point numbers. So you have so Python is an example of a string because just think of them as words. Boolean is either true or false. Integers are just numbers, and then floating points are just decimal numbers. Okay, so don't overthink it too much. I don't really want to give you too much description of what they are, but yeah, that's just just think of them as words, true or false, numbers, and decimal numbers. So as you're typing your code, you have these things called comments. Now these comments up here will allow you to add some sort of structure to your code that will help you understand it over time. So, if you're typing an application and it's like 1,000 lines, by putting in comments, you're going to be able to understand that code. If you didn't check on it for like a year and you go back into it, you might get pretty lost. Especially with you developing as a developer. So, comments kind of help you and others who have never read your code, kind of with what you're talking about and the type of the type of things that you're doing. Okay, so variables are just a placeholder for a certain type of value that you want to have. So I talked about these four different data types, and these variables will now hold these data types. So just think of it like a math equation. If x equals 5, and then I give you the equation, what is x plus 2? You're going to tell me it's 7. That's just kind of like what this is right here, okay? It's literally just a placeholder. That way, if I had like a giant phrase here of something, like I wouldn't need to type this giant phrase over and over again. I could just reference it by typing string, okay? And then as you can see from our last video, I'm using the print function again, and I print string, and you can see we got Python there, so that's our string. So I didn't need to type in Python. I could just reference it by the variable name. And then I also, if you want to type in two of them, two different variable names, you can separate them by a comma, and then here you go. You can type in both of them, or you can print out both of them. So you have your 8 here and your 3.943 there. And then since these are actually both numbers that can be added together, you can actually add these together. So you can actually perform some sort of operation on it. So here I added them, and then here you go, you got the sum. All right, so go ahead and open up a coding block if you haven't already, and we're actually going to type in our own variables. So for our string, we're gonna essentially do something very similar up here. So we're gonna make a string. We'll call it posit, and okay, and then so for this, and that's gonna be short for position. So here, what I'll actually do is I'm actually gonna make like a short little job description. So I'm gonna type in deep learning engineer. So go ahead and type along with me. So make a variable called posit and put in deep learning engineer, or just put in some sort of job title, and then put a comment there, job position, because that's what this variable variable means. All right, and so we'll make another one called avail, and we'll set this to true. So that's our Boolean, and this is just going to mean if the job is available. And so you see these comments, like, somebody who might not, understand what POSIT or avail means, like these comments just kind of help, understanding the code, okay? So our next one, we'll type in proj, we'll make it short for project, and we'll put 3 there, and then we'll just put, for our comment, number of projects. And then our last one, so that was our integer, and then we're going to make a floating point, save into a variable, and save that as exp for experience. And we'll say this job posting is looking for 1.5, so 1.5 years of experience. So put years of experience. Alrighty. So you hit Shift Enter, and down they're saved. And then if you were to hit print POSIT, you get out Deep Learning Engineer. So you see that this actually did not need to, you actually did not need to type in Deep Learning Engineer. You could just type in POSIT, and there you go, you got Deep Learning Engineer. And then also too, if you wanted to type in multiple, you can type in POSIT, like you've seen above, like I showed you before. You can type in, project, and then you could even do it in the same line. You could even add them in the same line if you wanted to, which wouldn't really make sense in this context, but I just wanted to show you that you can do that. So you can print out multiple in the same line. So you got Deep Learning Engineer, true, and then these were, summed. All right, and then so say I wanted to put these like all in like a sentence or something like that. You have these things called F strings, which will allow you to do that. So so you have your print function here, and then by putting an F before your quotes, you're allowed to incorporate your variable names within like a string of text. Okay. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and copy this and just put it down here, just so I can see it again. And then here I'm going to type in an F string. So make sure you type, so you got print, your parentheses, and then you type in F, and you type in your quotes, and then we'll just type in something like position open avail, so that'll be true. And I'll type in something like we have an open position for a. So it's kind of like you're just filling in the blanks with what you saved in here in these variables. So we have an open position for a POSIT, which is going to be Deep Learning Engineer. We are looking for someone with say 3 projects, because that proj variable is going to be 3 projects and experience. And this is 1.5 and 1.5 years of experience. So if you hit Shift Enter, you got position open, which is true. So you got our true value right there. We have an open position for a Deep Learning Engineer. That's our string. We are looking for someone with 3 projects. So that's our integer, and 1.5 years of experience. Someone with 3 projects and 1.5 years of experience. So there you go. You can actually incorporate your variables within a string of text. So yeah, this is something you guys are going to be dealing with a lot. So I just wanted to show you guys that, and I hope that wasn't too daunting. If you guys have any questions, feel free to please put a comment below. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video, okay? Goodbye.